How's it going, guys? Welcome to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. I'm as surprised as anybody else. We apparently wake up in the morning as Giselle, so she didn't just die in the middle of the woods, though last time was pretty intense. I wanted to give a quick shout out, a thank you, just kind of an FYI for those of you who are enjoying this series so far. If you hadn't followed me on the Discord, I had a cool thing happen this weekend. MangaGamer, who are the publishers of the translated versions into the West. They have their own website where you can buy visual novels, but they've been recently counter-publishing their works on Steam, and they actually were the ones that gave me the original key for this game. I think I said that at the very beginning. So they effectively said, hey, if you're interested in covering stuff, we have one we think you might like, and we'd hope that you'll feature it on your channel. So I picked it up, especially because it had such good reviews, and like some of you had actually mentioned in my Discord that you wanted to see me play it, and I was like, well, if it's given to me for free and I've got people requesting it, it kind of makes it go right up to the top of the chart for what I want to go through next. So I don't know why, but apparently somebody at MangaGamer decided, hey, apparently he's doing a good job, let's keep this up, because over the weekend they gave me access to, I believe, 12 other titles that I could actually have for free to play and feature on the channel. Some of which are ones I've definitely been interested in, some of them are ones I've never even heard of before, which goes to show you my lack of knowledge in general about this stuff, because I'm just so green to it all. I'm wearing green, but I really came into visual novels only a few years ago. Like, I kind of started my channel because I loved them so much after only reading a couple, and I was like, you know what, this is something I'm going to want to explore heavily, and I'd love to share with somebody because I don't have any friends who like this stuff. Thus, my channel was born. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is, first of all, to say thank you to MangaGamer. If anyone who's in the audience is from there who was kind of facilitated that, I appreciate it a lot. I'm not even sure if I can accept all the keys. As much as I would love to accept all these games, with the optimistic view that I would play them all, the realistic part of me says that, like, I don't know, 12 visual novels, some of which are pegged at being about 40, 50 hours plus, I don't know, that's years worth of content. I don't even know, because like new stuff might come out and stuff might like catch my eye, and so like maybe if I continue doing this for like years and years, which I hope to do, I'd get to it, but like the fact that there's no guarantee of that makes me hesitant to just pull all those keys out, because if I pull a key and I don't use it, I'd feel like I'm stealing, and I don't want that to be the case. So I'm probably going to do a poll in the near future, maybe by next episode. I'll put it up on the Discord. I'll probably put a link to it in the video for next week. I'm just saying, like, hey, here's a lot of titles that I'm considering. Let's like narrow it down to maybe a top 4 or 5 that I'll pick, and I'll grab those keys while they're here. And of course, I'll be willing to take the later ones if possible, but at the same time, I don't want to take them if they'd rather be useful somewhere else. I don't know. It's hard to do, and it's hard for me to I'm still really thinking about all this but I just want to say thank you, and the reason why I'm talking about it specifically is because one of the games they offer me is the sequel to the House of Fata Morgana. I've heard a couple of people say it's pretty good, but like a lot of sequels, it's a bit of a shadow of its former. Sorry, my earphones feeling funky for some reason. So like, while it may not be as good as this one, apparently it is still really good, and so I'm probably going to pull that one. I just don't know if I'll do it right away after this one. I've got something else I need to put in my Monday slot once this one's over, so you'll have to wait. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there, let you guys know that I'm very likely going to be doing the sequel to this one, and just to say thank you. But anyway, let's get back to Giselle, who, as we recalled last time, we found out what exactly had happened to her, at least from her perspective, more so than from Michelle. But he found out, at least the dark side of the story, like the side that, like, from outside. But we found out that she had been manipulated to be brought in as an Abigail, even of low birth, because the Lord of the Manor thought she was attractive. And then he manipulated her and motivated her, using the threat over her family to make her like do sexual favors for him. And he did terrible. He was a very brutal person in many ways. And then when somebody let slip that she might be having these illicit relations with the Lord, they let it slip to his wife, who's a little crazy, who freaked out and made a big scene. And in order to kind of cover everything up, she was sent away to be with Michelle, and she's not really sure why. And she's hoping it means that her family's still being taken care of, but I have a lot of doubt about that. And Michelle kind of forced her to kind of, like, he kind of confronted her with the truth, and she went into the woods in the cold and, like, pretty much just collapsed and passed out. So I'm shocked that we're waking up, but I guess we're going to find out what happens next. So she wakes up, and something about light, I'm guessing. Let's jump in. Stay with me. Oh, I think this might be Michelle. Stay with me. Are you all right? Interesting. Huh. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me? What? You had me scared silly there. Who is this? I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive. Where am I? And who is this man? What was I doing? You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some porridge for you right quick. Oh, maybe it's the messenger guy. I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick. Like there's still something in my stomach. No, thank you. I don't want anything. You really should have had something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour. Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all. You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason for you to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. Bet you can handle a cup of that. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You'll feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up from the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through me brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. I felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you needed it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet. Thank you for everything. You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet? Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt. You looked pretty beaten up to me. But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before. You've been very generous, despite having never met me before, and for that you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world. I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so. God. I came across you early this morning. I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. Well, what were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems. You're not going to demand I talk? I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you'd been to hell and back. What? I could tell just by looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go? Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion. If not, then why don't you stay here? Here? Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the harvest isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say? Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of my family's life more difficult. But I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you. Is it really okay? Then yes. I would love to stay here. That's great to hear. I would love to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amedee. Amedee, I'm guessing. Amedee. I'm trying to say it with an accent, but I have no idea. Just one lowly villager of many. Amedee. Amedee? Alright. I'll figure it out. I'm Giselle. Giselle? That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call home. I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself. That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less. Representative? Like a chief? Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's map, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with a priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So, rather than a chief, the people in the village looked at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained. Then you believe in God? That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived, because he protected you. I understand that your faith could waver when you're going through times of tribulation, but those are the times when it's most important to keep sight of who you are. Right. Now, you go get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village. Thank you. I truly mean it. I really, sincerely appreciate everything. Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now, too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore. Okay. Wow, what a turn. It is sad that she's probably abandoning her family, but I don't know if there was much hope for them anyway at this point. So, he's Amedee. I'm gonna slaughter that one. I have time to try and look it up. Okay, I'm gonna try and look it up real quick. 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I looked up Amedee. I'm gonna try and keep that. Amedee. Amedee. I'm gonna say. I hope that's close. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I had found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I had once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again, eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. And in order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that happened in the Bollinger estate and everything that happened at that mansion. Forget about Michelle. There was one what is that word? Niggling? That sounds terrible. Probably nagging curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left. My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michelle, who made a pact with the devil. who is supposed to be dead, but is very much alive. What had he meant by that? Oh, I wonder if she's going to use that as a weapon against him, possibly. Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michelle one bit. Forget it. Forget everything. This was a twist I didn't see coming, that's for sure. Back to Michelle, huh? The house was, as it had always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest. And any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then. Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way. Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cracking for somewhere out of reach. Hang on. So he was hearing her voice, but we never saw the text. Just dotted lines. Okay. I was hoping we'd get some more text again. But nope. Nothing here, sadly. At least nothing obvious. So, for whatever it was worth, to escape from his gaze. I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window. Interesting. So what brings them back together again, I wonder? Wow, it's someone new! Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are you? Aw, it's kinda cute. We hardly ever get any visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little, but please don't let it get to you. No, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone. You've got a spark to you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up? In particular? Once I decided I was going to stay here, just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever. I see. Glad to hear it. It's all thanks to you, Amedee. Keep thanking me like that, my cheeks might get struck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that? Lead the way. That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone. For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amedee taking the lead, we walked through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residences. Once upon a time, this was a city, rather than a village. Or your ancestors lived here? Oh no, we were drifters fortunate enough to come across some decent-looking land, so we struck around. How do you know what it was like before then? There were a few stone tablets left behind, and based on what we were able to extract from their texts. This area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling around, merchants from afar coming in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound. I had no idea there was a city here. That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, this city lost everything in just a single week. What? People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. That's what the tablet said, though. Uh-oh. What was that? We have been cursed by the witch. Cursed by the witch. Alright, again. Nope. It's just that. Look over there. You see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it. There's hardly anything left of it now. And if you continue along the path of the fallen bridge, you'll see there's a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place, wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed the city lives in that house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years, and she casts her curse on anyone who gets near. The city was so large that the mansion was actually on its borders. My guess is the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. Now, as you can see, the bridge is gone, the house is still standing or practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just like it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, somebody by that name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it's true, though? True to the fiction, stories take root in the region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. No, I'm fine. You're best staying away from the mansion in the forest at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is as peaceful as a village you'll find. I don't know whence you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering up there. I know all about the mansion and who lives there. I was there, after all, with Michelle for a full month. But I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that. But none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witch is cursed. Michelle, they're nothing to me. Fascinating. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here, but I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into his village. The village ran entirely of its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartering amongst themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so anew. I had never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first, I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time, I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking of me as one of them. That's really cool. I have a feeling it's going to be horrible in a second, but I like it so far. Come on, Giselle, come play with us. We're playing hide and seek today. Can't, sorry. I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later. Come on, play with us. Stop that. You'll pull my skirt. Oh, alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching. We'll be down the square, okay? Got it. See you there. The kids have taken quite a liking to you. Amedee. You think so? They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults. Sensitive? They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that pretty quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children. Why, thank you. I don't think it's so much of I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek, but that's not going to earn me any points. I like kids too. Watching them gives me faith that the world has a bright future. A bright future. I'd never look at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amedee. Thanks. No, I'd rather give my affection to my own kids. Oh, you have children? Oh, heavens no. I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future. I see. I wonder what you could possibly be talking about here. But knowing you, Amedee, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time. Yeah, it's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who'll be taking an interest in me. You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough. Do you really think so? Absolutely. Then perhaps you could be that person. Fish, she's bold. I like that. What? Pardon? I wouldn't pressure you into it, of course. But I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way. But it's a little soon for me to be thinking of settling down like that. It's pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it. All right. I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun. To be fair, in a small village, you don't get a whole lot of prospects. If you saw a very beautiful woman walk across your path and like you spent some time with her and you felt like she's genuinely a good, wholesome person inside, I don't see why you wouldn't want to just to part the phrase, jump on it. But like I said, he's not gonna have a whole lot of opportunities. So I totally get it. I didn't grow up in a country town, but I definitely grew up in a very small city. And I still can't imagine living in a population of 100 people and you rarely have any travelers at all. That's crazy. I wonder if you really meant it. Amedee is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here. Ooh, interesting. Why am I thinking about him, now, of all times? That man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amedee was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon winter started giving way to spring. On a day when the air still had a brisk winter bite, and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. Uh-oh. That day, a village men were gathering in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear that something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done chatting and caught Amedee. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else. Actually, with a dejected look on his face, he started explaining. The Lord found out about this village. What? And he says he's going to come to the place of land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding that we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land. What? That's ridiculous. Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over the village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area, after all. But if we resist, he can send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claims to the village is. We have no choice but to comply. That's terrible. What are we going to do then? We're going to do as the Lord demands. The 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggest we abandon the land and find somewhere else. But it would take time to cultivate the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. Well, we'll use more of the land to grow and try and be more efficient. Will ya help in the fields?
Of course. This village is my home now, too.
Thank you, Giselle. It will be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this.
I thought the same thing. If we all worked together, we could make it through the rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village, too.
This is gonna be sad. Your family has more hands to work the fields. I have a sickly child. Do you expect him to work harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain. You have more. No, you have more. You both have more than us.
When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. That cooperation was only temporary, and before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill.
Oh, I can already see where this is going.
And it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider.
Come on, get moving.
Ow! Stop that! Why are you doing this?
I'll stop once you've told us everything.
Told you what? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What's this about?
Oh, don't play stupid. We all know it was you.
What was me?
The thief. No, Amedee, right? The thief.
Amedee? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative.
Oh no. Is he gonna like be a testimony against her and then like in private be like, hey, you just marry me, I promise it'll be fine.
The man who had saved my life. But in his eyes now,
I thought you were better than that.
Was contempt, anger, scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately, as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so I just stood there stupefied.
There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. The village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the Lord now demands we pay taxes, even the smallest item lost can have a dramatic impact on the family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke.
Wait just a second. I haven't stolen anything. Why do you think
You have been seen in the act.
What?
So long as there's a testimony against you, your guilt is assured.
Who says they saw me? I swear, I didn't do anything. They're obviously lying.
You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time. Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found until you showed up.
No, that's not my fault.
Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken.
Amedee, don't you believe me?
There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars.
But no, they're framing me. I didn't steal anything, I swear.
Framing you? Now you want to put us on us, woman? Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village?
Amedee, please believe me. You of all people should believe me. You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you?
Oh wait, what? That was what he said. You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you?
What?
Because you had something to hide, correct?
No,
What other reason could you have to avoid me?
Why? How can he say these things? Why won't he believe me?
Now, return the things you've stolen.
I can't. I never stole anything. How am I supposed to return something I don't have?
I see. You've already moved the stolen goods. She says she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How shall we deal with this? Wrap her up till she talks. Yeah, she's not getting off that easy. Give us back our stolen property. Oh, fetch.
Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village quick.
Restrain her!
No, get your hands off me.
Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have the stuffer. Is that it?
I didn't do anything.
Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything. Oh, that sounds terrifyingly terrible.
No, stop. You've all gone mad. Please, come to your senses.
I don't like where this is going.
With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amedee's house. He sat coolly in a chair, and they shoved me into my knees before him.
I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole?
And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone. Please believe me.
Do you swear, with God as your witness?
I do. I swear with all my heart.
You don't actually believe her, do you, Amedee? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible.
Again, that's just a coincidence. Listen to me, Amedee.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She hath lied, she hath stolen, she hath betrayed her fellow man.
Why are you doing this, Amedee? You were such a good man.
I am deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you.
Amedee? Ah, of course. Why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village? His family.
The water?
What?
A man set a wooden
well bucket on the floor in front of me.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't clean water from the well, though, but grimy, murky wastewater.
Oh.
I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair.
Oh, I don't like what this is. Oh, mate. Turn away if you're squeamish. I kind of wish I could.
And before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went brown.
Oh. That's horrible.
I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back. I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively gasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth.
Pull her out. We got nothing if she dies. Put her back in and keep her until she decides she's ready to talk.
No.
That's horrible. How does this happen? This is so freaking messed up. But this stuff happens in people. Like, people go how unsightly. And to think I ever considered marrying this woman.
Stop.
We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth.
Please. Stop! I was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket and pulled out just long enough for me to steal a single breath before going back in, over and over again. Not a person in that room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I had prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use the loom, something I'd never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people. perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane. But now they burned with a frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them. And every gargle, gasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness staring down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My consciousness was slipping away from me. I thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of.
Away with?
Huh?
Stay with me.
Amedee.
Oh, thank goodness you're awake.
Wait, what was I just doing? Ah, right. I was in the forest, on the verge of death, and Amedee found me, and...
We almost lost valuable manpower there. Oh no. We were just discussing what to do about you, Giselle. We've decided to make you a village property.
No, he didn't save me.
If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible with a loom, but there's plenty you can help with.
What are you going to make me do?
You like to get your hands dirty. And considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you was any cleaner.
Amedee?
It seems we've come to an agreement. Fetch! I'll keep watch over her starting today. To make sure she stays in line, doesn't steal anything else.
Dirty. Stays in line. The way they're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No. Anything but that. Please have mercy.
If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle.
What?
Get back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village.
The men were cackling.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm.
Take your pick, Giselle.
Something of equal value. If I can get that, then you'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear.
If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. I knew it. There is a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town.
I think I know where you can get something worth money. The mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh gosh. When did I become... You can steal some of that to sell for good money. Such a despicable woman.
You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone who goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse.
There is no witch living there. There is no curse.
Giselle, what do you know about that mansion?
I lived there for a while. Well, for a month.
You what?
The son of a noble lives there. He's human, and he's alone.
A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city?
I presume he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion from the capital to act as his servant. There was plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be more than enough to pay for the Lord's 5 years' worth of tax.
Is what you're saying true?
I would not lie. As bewilderment spilled through Amedee's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Michelle.
You swear there's a single man living in that house?
Yes, it's only him.
Alright. If it turns out you're lying, you'll pay. Okay, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle, you're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run.
Right.
Oh man, what a betrayal, but at the same time, like, can you really blame her, considering what she was going through?
On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up here? How come I could never manage to avoid getting myself in these situations? And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure Michelle wasn't around, though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon us. Despite, on the surface, there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise.
Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It would seem someone really does live in this cursed place. I am honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door is old. We could break it down. Yeah, let's bust it down.
Hold on. There's no need to be barbaric. Did you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves.
That's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle? You. Alright, men. Are you ready for lives of luxury? Break down the door.
Stop it.
If the darn noble made our lives so hard, they deserve to be robbed. Break it. Break down the door.
Please, stop this.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. So this is like the interpretation of burn the witch, burn the witch. Break it down.
Stop. All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered down the door again and again and again, and in a few minutes' time, it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen, and as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me, growing lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest.
It would seem you are not aware of whose house you are trying to break into.
The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared from within the mansion.
Surely you know what this place is called.
Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucent pale hair.
So surely you came prepared for whatever you would find.
And his eyes were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob.
A demon,
somebody muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look like something not of this world.
It's a demon! The rumors about this place were true! A cursed demon lives there.
Demon? Him? Michelle? No, he's not cursed.
Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I have inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, For the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath this skin as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color, offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, a symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you, and the witch of the legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations. Until the moment of your deaths, you shall regret ever coming near this place.
No, have mercy! We were just... It was that woman. She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth. Deceived us, told us to pillage this house. We're innocent. Amedee? Please, have mercy on us.
Give her to me, then, as an offering.
Absolutely, she's yours. Torture her however you please.
I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse.
I swear it, we won't return. Run, get out of here.
That might have worked.
Without so much of a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amedee, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore.
Don't think I'm helping you.
His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was suddenly a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue.
Look at me. Look at me, Giselle. Tell me, is it true you returned to the mansion to plunder it? That you brought those men here to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle.
Yes, it's true. I persuaded them to steal from you.
Are you really so desperate for money that you resort to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought a mob to this house. And they were armed, too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle. Not even going to defend yourself. Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence. Ah, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you. I'm done. Leave this place and never show your face here again.
As he shouted at me, I stared into the fiery red eyes. And somewhat inappropriate thoughts crossed my mind. Huh. So he can get emotional like everyone else. And my heart, stripped raw and cast out to sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me.
What?
If you want me gone, then kill me. Huh. You can do that, can't you? And use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it, right here. Use your power, take my life. And if you don't want to do that, then stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me.
What?
I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They just walk all over me laughing. Why? Tell me why. I don't know why this is happening to me. I never stole anything.
What are you talking about?
I tried my best to look happy. I thought everyone would work out if I just kept smiling. I believed that the world would make things better. That would make things better. But nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me, what did I do?
But you...
All I ever did was believe. Tried my best to survive and always wear a smile. But if everything's going to be my fault, and I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought the mob. And before that, you used my father... No, sorry. You used my father. That was it, dang it!
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together.
What?
I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted. But that man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me to... He raped me.
What?
Again and again. No matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop. Again and again. He threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife. Over and over and over again.
What? My father raped you?
No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You didn't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me.
Horrifying. Give me a moment. I need time to process this.
You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me now.
Oh.
Kill me, damn it.
Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to talk about this. This is touching on very real feelings that I haven't had to have much interaction with in my life. I've only known distantly people who've committed suicide, who have been... I guess I knew someone who was considering it but never followed through. And there was a story with Etika not too long ago that was practically right down the road from me. I didn't even know him that well. Like, at all. But what a great, terrible, terrible glimpse into the eyes of somebody who really would want to see it end. Who would consider it a mercy to have everything repeatedly ripped from your hands again and again. I wish I knew the words to say, because this is a very real subject that people face. And just because you feel like you have a good life doesn't mean you're not facing trouble. And not all trauma leads to suicidal thoughts, and not all suicidal thoughts come from trauma, but it's very much important we talk about it. Because feelings are real. They're real to the people who are feeling them. And no amount of illogic, no amount of debate, no amount of good living, clean conditions and happiness that can be all around them will change the fact that those feelings aren't real. It's something I've never understood, but I've desperately tried to figure out, because I feel like it's gonna happen to all of us someday. We're gonna have someone close to us who is going to feel this way, and we have to know what we're going to do. I know this story is probably not going to have much of a happy ending. Maybe in the long run, after all is said and done, it will. But her life in this story is not going to have a happy ending. But there's a lot of people who feel like that's the way it is for them too. And I just don't know what to say. Other than the fact that there are people worth living for. There are people who are probably, if you're thinking about these types of things or know somebody who is, like, I wish to just let you know that there are people who care. There will be. I don't care how distantly it happens. There are people who are there and who want to be there for you. That there's a future for you. That it can feel bleak and dark and like there's no hope, but the greatest jewel of humanity is the fact that we can rise from ashes over and over again. We have a capacity to do so, but sometimes the willpower is what we lack. I want to say that things could be okay, that if you reach out, you'll find the help you need, but I know that doesn't always happen. I want to say that I want to know and I would care about you and I wouldn't want anything to happen to you, but I also know that I'm just a person talking to a computer screen. That my voice is simply an artificial recreation that you're hearing sometime long after I've said these words. And as much as I might mean them, I don't think I can convince you of that, nor should I feel like I have to. But we sometimes forget that we're people of potential. That just because things now seem like they're dark and terrible doesn't mean that they always will be. We live in a world of light and shadow, and the shadows are ultimately dispelled by the light. I wish there were people who always got to find that happy ending, but some don't. It's not always by choice either. But I do believe in my heart, in my core, that every person has value. Everyone adds something to this world. Everyone adds a piece of the puzzle that makes up humanity. And many of us are never going to see just how impactful people are in our lives, despite how little we understand them or may even be aware of them. Do you realize how many times your life has probably been saved by a driver who was paying attention at a time when you might have not been when you were going somewhere? How many accidents have been averted because of people had good instincts or reacted properly in situations? How many lives are saved by people who work as EMTs, firefighters, and police officers who respond to disasters as they are happening, and despite the fact that they can't save everybody, they do their best, and they save so many? That despite the fact that people sometimes resist it, that refugees often find places where they can be safe, at least temporarily. That the genuine goodness of people comes out often in the darkest of times. And that there is something worth fighting for amongst all of this. I know in my heart, and I believe it with all my blood and my soul. But I am not Giselle. If I stood before someone who had gone through what she'd gone through and she told me that she wanted to die, part of me would understand that. And that's part of what scares me about this mostly, is that there are people who feel like they've gone through so much they just don't want to deal with it anymore, that it could be considered almost a mercy. And that terrifies me. I don't want that to be true. I have to believe that it's not, that there's hope and that there could be so much more happiness for people who go through something like this. Elizabeth Smart's a good example of somebody who's gone through something terrible and come out the other side functionally okay, managing to make the most of it. But it doesn't mean it's right for you or for that friend or family member. Just because some people make it doesn't mean they feel like they can. I've gone through depression before. Very minor. Probably nothing diagnosable. But I've had those moments of pure darkness before. I've had those times where, like, I know I'm being irrational in some small part of my brain, but it's so insignificant it doesn't matter. And decisions you can make during those time periods are not going to follow a logic. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've talked for 10 minutes and said nothing. So maybe I have to say the cliche things. Maybe I have to say what everyone else says, and maybe I have to just man up. I know that there's a reason that people are here. There are bad and more evil people in the world, but they make choices that lead them there. I know that there are people who struggle, who feel like there's nothing in life that's worth living, or they've gone through something so terrible that they feel like there's nothing that can ever get them out of the shadow of that darkness. I believe in you. I'll never meet you. Probably ever, my entire life. But I believe in people. We're killing our planet. I don't think that'll be the end. I think that we're eventually going to figure out how to fix things, and then we'll find new problems that we have to fix. I believe with all my heart that someday we're not going to be trapped on this planet anymore, that we're going to be able to find ways to go and visit and live in other worlds, really live there, not just temporarily. I want to believe with all my heart that we're not going to destroy ourselves, and that this could be some kind of weird archaeological discovery discovered by aliens from thousands of years in the future who discover our remains. I know that that could happen, but I can't believe in it, because if I do, then I don't know why we struggle so hard. But that's entirely the point, I think. We struggle because we have a dream that something can get good in the end. That things will get better. That compared to people who lived 1,000 years ago, life is so much better. Sure, we brought problems along with progress, but that's the nature of these things. And maybe that's how it is for people too. That maybe the dark ages of your life are just a phase that eventually erupts into a glorious renaissance of rebirth and renewal, and that the changes that you can make in your life, whether it take a year or 50 years, will yield something miraculous. And of course that will come with new problems, but those problems are probably something you can manage too. I have to have faith in the future of humanity. It's something I truly and honestly believe in more than anything else. And despite all the things that seem to say contrary, I really believe in the end we're going to be okay. I think we're all going to be okay. So, I'm sorry this got so serious, but I mean, I just had to voice act something that was really, really terrible. And in my mind, I saw it all. Thankfully, it didn't show any of it in picture format, but good grief. There's so much that, like, and the part of the back of my brain is that all this stuff happens. It's happened in the past, and I'm sure it happens now. In the darkest corners of reality, it's there. It's the ugliness that we never want to see, but all of us are conscious of running in the background. But there's just so much light compared to that darkness. There's so much that's worth being around for, that sometimes that darkness almost seems like a fitful little flame. It's trying to burn down a house that's constantly being drenched in water. I don't know. I'm not making any sense here. I'm just kind of emotional here because I'm very much in the shoes of Giselle, and I'm trying to help understand and trying to help process what I'm going through and what I wish I could do if I were sitting across from her, if she were a real person. And there are people out there who feel like her, whether it's because of stuff they've gone through or not. Like, that's not a lie. Authors use lies to tell the truth. So what's the truth of this story so far? It's that darkness sometimes hits people who don't deserve it. That sometimes things continue to spiral despite the best efforts of the people involved. And I hope we can all see that there could still be light at the end of the tunnel, and that despite it all, it's worth fighting for. I've talked enough about this subject. I want to go ahead and dedicate this episode to the topic matter. I think it's a good thing to constantly be aware of, especially with holiday seasons coming up and changes coming up of all kinds of things. People are in school now. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description for the suicide hotline, because sometimes you just need someone to talk to. And I think it kind of sounds redundant sometimes, because I feel like the last people I would call if I were being suicidal would be a suicide hotline, because the whole point of it is to feel like I don't feel like there's a way out, and I don't want people telling me there is one. But I think it would work. I know they save lives, and so the people who give it a shot, I think, make a difference. I'm probably going to have no monetization on this video regardless, whether by choice or by force, because anytime you bring up a sensitive subject it happens, but I just want you to know that I want there to be answers for you, and I want there to be light there for those of you who are facing darkness. I know it's out there. It might take more work for you to find, but I know it's out there somewhere. There are good people. There are people who care and who will care about you in the future. And more importantly, I hope you can see your own value. That there are things that you can contribute that nobody else can. Inventions you could make, opinions you could share, kindness you can give, or just simply being that one person who doesn't cause a massive 50-car file up on the highway. You never know how effective your actions are, because we don't understand or see time in the 5th dimension. If we did, we might have a better clue of how powerful people could be, but since we're limited to our own experiences, we don't ever see the causalities, the things that could have gone wrong, and the things that we abandoned if we make the wrong decisions. So I invite you to try and think about that. Reach out to those people around you. If you notice people just changing their behavior or seeming to be more resolved, giving away possessions, acting strangely, make note of it. Tell people about it. Try and reach out to them. Sometimes that's all it takes to make a difference in a person's life, and yet you'll never know. And if you are struggling again, find someone who you reach out to. Make sure that you find the light that is in your life that I know's there. No matter how dark it seems, somewhere there's light. Because it's humanity we're talking about. And while the humanity can be really ugly, most of it is good. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you guys for joining me. Sorry I got so heavy here. I hope it didn't set you off very much, but I think after such an ending like that, I couldn't help but talk about it a little bit. I hope that I see all of you again for the next episode, as we find out what exactly is going to happen now. The truth is out there. I think I already know how this is going to end based on the 4th door, but I hope we find light before that ending comes, because I think it's there, and I think we're going to see something wonderful happen in the next part. So hold tight, rise up, and know that there are people there for you. I'll see you guys in the next video.